So I'm going to make pea and ham soup. I've basically 4 or 5 ingredients again. Peas, obviously, a gammon shank and onions, a little bit of butter to fry your onion in, and salt and pepper to season, and obviously some stock as well. So here goes. So I've had this gammon shank in 4 pints of water in the slow cooker for about 5 hours now. In the water I've just added a bouquet garni, which is rosemary, thyme and bay, and there's a few peppercorns in there as well, and a few cloves, and that's just basically being boiled now for about 4 hours, like I say, 4 or 5 hours in the slow cooker. There we are, that's the gammon shank out of the slow cooker, and I'm just going to put that into the oven now, just to roast off for a little bit. I've got the oven at 220, so quite a high oven. It's only going to go in for half an hour or so, just to really get that roast flavour into the ham itself. Okay, so I've taken the gammon out of the oven now. I'll just give you a quick show what that looks like. As you can see, that's nicely roasted. I've even got some lovely crackling on there as well. So all I'll do is let that cool down now, take the crackling off, because obviously I'm not going to put that in the soup, and then shred the meat underneath it like you would do with pulled pork. On my board now is just the remainder of the soup starter, so a little bit like a sofrito. So you've got potato, carrot, onion and garlic. I'm just going to chop all those up nice and fine. As I've always done, as you've seen in all my videos, just nice and fine. Garlic's nicely chopped now. This is all going to get blended anyway, so it's only rough, but obviously if you do it nice and small now, it's just going to cook a lot quicker. So that's half an onion. Quite a strong onion, that. Then carrot, again, just nice and finely diced. Just turn the board so you can see it. Straight down centre. Lay it flat, down centre again. Put that one to one side. Just make rough battens. As I say, it doesn't have to be perfectly chopped, it's all getting blitzed in a bit anyway. The potato, all that's going to do is just thicken up the soup, which is really good. And it's only a medium potato, it's not a huge potato. You don't need a lot in there, it just, as I say, thickens up the soup. If I had celery, I'd put a really finely chopped celery stick in there as well. But supermarket didn't have any, so I ain't got any. Excellent. So welcome over to the hob. What we're going to do now is just going to very quickly lightly fry off the onions and the garlic and the carrots all together. So just warm that pan up. Using quite a big saucepan because we're going to put in a full litre of stock. So it needs to be quite a big pan to be able to hold all the liquid. Okay, so here we go. So big knob of butter, let that melt, and a dribble of oil just so that it doesn't burn too much. Just have a quick slurp. Lovely. So I've just turned the heat down on it a little bit. I'm going to chuck my onions and garlic in now. We don't want to colour them up, we just want to soften them. So we're just looking for that nice translucent colour. And the carrots as well. Just get that colour going on that. So there, because the butter's quite thick as well, that'll add to the soup flavour and also to the thickness of the soup. So those onions and garlic are just losing the colour now, they're just going a bit translucent. And what I'll do now is, because they're nicely losing that, we'll pop the potatoes in, or tato. Not going to season at this point because when we add the stock should have quite a bit of seasoning in there. I will add a bit of black pepper though. Because you know I like black pepper. And I'll just let those cook down for a couple of moments. What I am going to add as well is just a touch of dried thyme. Not too much because like I say the stock will have quite a bit of seasoning, so about half a teaspoon. Just let that sweat down with the onions and the carrots and potato and garlic. So those have nicely gone translucent now. The potatoes are starting to just get that little bit of colour to them now as well. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add 2 little stock pots. Now I'm using chicken stock. You can use pork or ham, whichever you wish. I find that with the ham itself as well, it can be a bit too salty. So I tend to use chicken stock. So just get those turning in there. Now then, now those have melted down a little bit, I'm going to add a litre of water. Make sure it's hot. And we're just going to let that simmer now, just until the potatoes and the carrots have softened up a little bit. So it'll probably take about 2 or 3 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, maybe 5. All right. So while that's simmering, I've shredded up the gammon now. So I've taken off all the crackling. That's gone to one side because obviously I'm a big boy. I like my pork crackling. So that's about 250 grams, 300 grams of shredded pork now, or gammon. So don't forget that is salty as well. So this is why I've not added any extra salt to anything at all. All right, because that's going to be adding enough salt to it as it is, and with the stock pot as well, because they tend to be, unless you're buying low sodium stuff, they tend to be quite salty as well. So and I've got now 500 grams of just garden peas. In fact, these are wonky peas from Morrison's. Obviously you can buy bird's eye or anything like that, but they're just as good. The peas are peas at the end of the day. You're still going to get all your vitamins from them, especially doing it this way. Alright, okay, so those have softened up a bit. In fact, they've softened up quite well. What I'm going to do now is just pour 500 grams of peas into there. We'll bring that back to the boil, and then once that's boiling, we will then let them simmer for 3 or 4 minutes, just until the peas are cooked, and then we shall blitz away. All right. Just a little tip as well, instead of putting your spoon down anywhere, those little holes in the handle are quite easy to put your spoon in. Okay, so I've let it cool down a little bit first, because when you come to using your stick blender, you don't want to be splashed with extremely hot soup, do you? So I'm just going to blend this up now. Now, pea and ham soup sometimes is really green. Mine doesn't tend to be extremely green because, well, I like to put carrots in there, there's butter in there as well. If you want it to be really vibrant green, just do it with a clear stock. You don't want to put any carrots in there, and you certainly don't want to put butter in there either. So we'll just blitz this up now. Start slow. So you can see there that the colour is almost matching my wall. I'm going to finish doing this off. It'll take me a few minutes to get everything really smooth. So I'll be back to you in a moment. Okay, so there we are. That's your pea soup. I'm just going to ladle some of that out into a little takeaway dish there, because this is going to a friend of mine. Now, you can be really chefy with this. You could put, before you serve it up, in a bowl, obviously not a takeaway dish, you could actually put a nice swirl of either olive oil, if you followed what Jamie does, or if you're Gordon, you're going to put a swirl of fresh cream in there. James Martin might add another load of butter. But yeah, all you need to do now is just add some nice bits of this gammon, all shredded up. And there we are. So that's my pea and ham soup. Hope you enjoyed these videos. Leave comments if you want to, subscribe, and always remember, don't trust a skinny chef.